Hi, this is a belt kit from Hermes, and basically this is what you need to get started on your knife making journey. We'll be going through each and every one of these belts, and I'll show you exactly what they're going to be used for. So basically I've got my piece of steel here, which is a piece of L6 actually, and I've just roughed out a certain design for my point. So I'm using these ceramic belts. This is a 50 grit belt, and they're great for removing material very, very quickly. So there you go. Very quick. Usually what I would do now is mark my centre line so that I can start grinding my bevels. When I grind freehand. So I'll get into that straight away. So I've ground pretty much where I want to be. I'm about halfway to my centre line. So now I'm going to go to a finer grit belt, also a ceramic, and that's just to get rid of all of these deep scratches out of the 50 grit belt. So my progression from 50 grit is to a 120 grit belt. So again, ceramic belts really remove a lot of material very, very quickly, which is great because I have a theory about grinding knives, and that theory is get it done as quickly as possible. The more time that you spend on the grinder, the more chance that you have of making a mistake, basically. And so now I'm just going to go up through the grit ranges, and I'll explain a little bit more about what they're actually doing. So that piece of steel that I profiled out before was in its annealed condition. This blade that I've got here is actually been heat treated, so it's obviously hard. Yeah. So now I'm just going to go up through the grit ranges. Again, this is at a 120 grit finish here right now. So basically, after using the 120 grit, I'm just going finer and finer now. This is also a ceramic belt in 240 grit. So basically I'm just refining my grit structures. So as you can see, it doesn't take very much to go up through the grit ranges because of this the ceramic belts. after the 240 grit, I'm going to go directly to a 400 grit belt, and this is aluminium oxide. Yep. And again, we're just refining the scratch pattern, going finer and finer. So basically what I'm going to do now, I've put up an X-Flex belt. These are great for putting in your plunge lines and getting that nice transition. So what I do is I'm actually going to track the belt over one side of the platen here, so I can put that plunge line in. It's probably, I don't know, 1.5mm, 2mm over on one side. So we'll get into that right now. So having the flexibility up into this plunge line, instead of it being a really sharp corner there, you know, it's got a nice little radius, which I like. Yeah, so that's using the X-Flex belt. So my next progression now, after I come off the 400 grit belt, is I'm going to be using this. This is a 600 grit cork belt. But what you need to do before you actually use this belt is to actually condition it. And the way that you do that, you just put a piece of steel here, nice and flat. So it's just basically getting a little bit of heat up into the blade, into the belt, and it's making it softer. So, as you can possibly see there, I'm getting really fine now. So, as you can see here, I've got my handle shape drawn onto this piece of timber. Usually what I would do is come along here with the bandsaw and just remove as much as possible. But I just want to show you how good these belts are in hogging out material. So this is a 40 grit belt, and it's predominantly manufactured for exactly this purpose. Yeah. So, I've got my initial shape of my handle. It's just roughed out, and you can see how quickly that took. Didn't take hardly any time at all.